Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Ooni of Ifes' final move that shocked the palace. Okay, Queen Naomi chosen as Yoruba Empress abroad. Oma, it is not a small thing. No. This is the lifting of God. It's only God that can lift you from like the gutters where the enemy wanted you to be sleeping in to the height where Queen Naomi is. Because see, let me tell you the truth, okay? In December, Naomi slept inside the gutters. You see that, what do you call the detention center in Ibadan where Naomi stayed. Let me tell you, the truth that a lot of people didn't know was that the first day and the second day, Naomi slept in that detention center. She used the public bathroom, the public toilet with those women. It was from the third day that they removed Naomi from where she was. For 1 month, Naomi was there. Which gutter is more than that? No, tell me which gutter is more than that. But God said, enough is enough. It is time to put you where you belong. It is time to take you, to that place where I want you to be. It was supposed to be the final meeting, the one where the Ooni of Ife would make a strategic declaration that could define the Yoruba monarchy's, relationship with the diaspora, especially with the cultural powerhouse in Brazil and the rest of South America. For months, there had been whisper about the need for a Yoruba Empress abroad. Someone who would represent the kingdom on an international level, both culturally and diplomatically. And for months, the palace had been flooded with proposals, presentations, and let's be honest, okay, a whole lot of lobbying. Remember, last week or last 2 weeks, you heard one information where, after that jet incident where they took Naomi's maidens to UK with her things. I don't know. I'm sure this is not the first time you hear this. They said Ooni of Ife wanted to crown Queen Naomi in the UK. And a lot of people were wondering, Ooni of Ife that up until like 2 years ago did not have his own house in the UK, didn't have a house in Canada. Ooni of Ife is a serial investor that wants to invest in Nigeria. And the reason why he's investing in Nigeria is because he knows that we have a lack of unemployment in the country. So if God has blessed him with resources, why will he want to go and invest outside? And if God has blessed him with resources, why will he be using millions of dollars to be buying houses abroad? He wants to buy here. He wants to use it. He wants to put it into real estate because he knows it's going to benefit his own people. Now, people started wondering, how can a king like that want to go and crown Naomi a queen somewhere else and all of that? Nobody knew, nobody understood. Even me, I didn't know that it was this drama, this whole great drama that was brewing underneath. Now, from Blow to, Politicking, to Ebony, to Gospel, to who again is there again? I've forgotten. Ikpi, Auntie Ikpi. Campaigning and all of that. Private meetings were arranged, networks were, activated. It wasn't just about beauty or royal titles anymore. It was about influence. Who could carry the weight of Yoruba pride across the sea? Who could speak to dignitaries, attend global summit, represent the heritage, and still embody grace and spiritual depth? Many thought they had a shot, but nobody expected what came next. At the historic, Yoruba, African American Cultural Summit, okay, that is about to happen. When they sent that letter to the Ooni of Ife, not far from where, things were happening. Things were happening. The private jet, the wahala, the cry, and all of that. They sent some people, representative came, visited. They said the room was, full of dignitaries, professors, cultural historians, traditional rulers, from, all over the place. And at the end, of course, we all know what happened. Ooni of Ife sat there, and people thought, Ebony thought she had a shot. Ebony thought that, at the end of the day, yes, let's call it spade to spade. Ebony is also an intelligent woman. See, let me tell you something. Ooni of Ife go for women who are very brilliant. You see the Ooni of Ife's wives? The most brilliant of all of them. Keeping Queen Naomi aside though, because Queen Naomi, I don't like to add Queen Naomi to those 6, okay? If I don't even like to add Dr. Elizabeth, not to talk of Queen Naomi, just keep Queen Naomi aside, because where Queen Naomi is, there's no basis for comparison, okay? But you see those ones inside. Let me tell you the brilliant ones. You see Dr. Elizabeth, she doesn't talk much. You see that Ebony is brilliant. You see that Gospel is very brilliant, okay? You see the lawyer, the one they call Yoruba, she's very brilliant. These are the women that are very brilliant. As in, when you talk about brilliance, you're talking about, academic brilliance. There is a difference between a person who is so outspoken and a person who is brilliant, okay? So, Ebony is also a very brilliant woman, okay? And she feels like she's that very, one thing that has happened to the Ooni of Ife that, Ooni should celebrate and all of that. So she was thinking she could have a shot. Like, she stands, she has the capacity, like Kabiyesi will choose her. Nobody, they never ever thought that Kabiyesi will make this move that he made. But Kabiyesi surprised everyone when he said, by the authority of the throne of Oduduwa and legacy of Ile-Ife, Queen Naomi, Queen Prophetess Naomi Ogunwusi is hereby appointed the Yoruba Empress abroad, the royal ambassador of Yoruba culture, faith, and diplomacy across South America. It was a final move, and it was Ooni's, move alone. Nobody saw it coming, especially not the other wives who had spent weeks aligning with cultural, attaches and trying to gain the favor of foreign dignitaries. There were whispers of, Ebony, okay, last minute donation to a South American a Yoruba museum, okay. The rumors of Blo hosting a cultural, dinner in Brazil. Even, a Gospel allegedly met with, some, South American Nigerian Friendship Association to secure a foothold. But all just went flat. Nothing happened. Because when it came time for the Ooni of Ife to choose, he went back to the one woman who never lobbied, never begged, and never strategized. She simply lived her truth. And Corona Royale, she was mesmerized, watching Queen Naomi walk up to receive her royal sash and insignia. It is not a small thing that has happened. This is big. This is huge for Olori Naomi. Now, if you agree with me, that is what a modern day queen should look like. Not lobbying. Just living her truth is what Queen Naomi has been living. I remember when, in fact, December was horror for Queen Naomi, so it was for a lot of her fans. Just knowing that she was still in that place gave me too many nightmares and all of that. But I knew that there was something brewing. I knew that God was going to make a statement in the life of this woman. Yes, I knew. They say when the owner of Corona Royale visited the palace of the Ooni of Ife, they say she and Naomi sat side by side for over an hour in what appeared to be a deeply spiritual and cultural exchange. Whatever was said between them remained private, but insiders claim Corona Royal personally pledged to support Naomi's upcoming Yoruba, South American empowerment initiative. Meanwhile, in the palace, the reaction has been mixed, mostly, disbelief. Some, as in, a lot of them are in disbelief. While some are drafting congratulatory letters for, Naomi, others are, so upset, they are crying, they are jealous, they don't even know what to do about what is going on. They just could not believe that Kabiyesi could do this to them. They feel like Kabiyesi has done the worst. And that happens to be Ebony. Because Ebony has cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And that's why I continue to say to people, marry your own husband. Don't go and be an attachee, because this is what you will suffer. Honestly, it is a big deal. What is going on in the palace right now is big, and it's big for Queen Naomi. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget, these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.